I got this guitar for $13. Hey everybody, Jace Allen here. Welcome back to the channel. So I'm doing another guitar review, yes, on another Stratocaster style guitar. This one is from Donner, and the thing that kind of attracted me to this particular guitar is that it's an ash body. They're calling it Manchurian ash. There's some details about it that we'll show from the eBay listing, but it's a really neat open pore finish. It's a matte finish and it's gray and it looks really cool. So that's kind of what drew me to this guitar, and I like guitars made out of heavier hardwoods. This one's actually pretty heavy, so let's kind of unbox it, and then we'll see how it sounds, and we'll talk about this guitar. Okay, so here we are with this is the Donner DST-80, and I got this on eBay. Got a really good deal on it. I'm not even sure how I came across this guitar, but if you go to eBay, you'll notice it's normally 200 bucks, $199.99. So then they're listing it at 40% off, and then they've got this extra 5% off November deals, and then there was another promotion going on. So then there was another coupon code that took $22.80 off it. So the beginning price was $119. I got a $6 discount. It was free shipping. Another coupon for $22.80, and then the tax was $6.84. So that took the price to $98.03, which is a good price in itself. But then I had a gift card, which wasn't really a gift card. When I go to Amazon and look for items on Amazon, I have the Capital One shopping, it's like a add-on for your browser. So what that does is it pops up on Amazon and it says, hey, this particular product is cheaper at eBay or Etsy or whatever vendors they work with, and you don't even have to have a Capital One card to do this. This is just some kind of shopping rebate app, I guess you could call it. And so it sends you emails and you can activate these different deals. And so when this deal thing came up on eBay, it said, hey, you've got all these points that you can cash out, and I redeemed it for gift card through eBay. And so that took the grand total for this guitar to $13.03. So it's a good deal on the guitar as it is, but if you sign up for that Capital One shopping app, then you can get even better discounts. Okay, enough of that. Here is the guitar. They package their stuff really well. This guitar comes with an amplifier. This is like a package that Donner has. I don't even know if this is available on their website. I'd have to see. Comes with a battery, and oh, this is cool. Oh, it's got rings on it, so you can hang it. And so on, off, drive. Oh, you can actually plug it in too, but it's battery operated. Volume and tone. That's it. So that's a little amp there. So we'll play with that. Okay, so it comes in a gig bag. The gig bag is extremely thin. As Joe from Average Joe's Gear Talk says, nothing more than a dust cover. And then it comes with a bag full of goodies. And we'll go through that here in a minute. Okay, so what you get in the bag is a capo. Cheap plastic capo, but a capo nonetheless. Just a cheap webbing strap, cheap cable, real thin cable, chamois. You want to keep your guitar clean. Extra set of strings, which are not even branded. Those are probably super cheap. Picks. I have so many picks, I don't need that. And then a Donner electric tuner. So we'll plug that in, try it out. Tremolo, bar, and your Allen wrenches, an instruction manual, all that good stuff. So this, you know, if you're buying this for a student or a beginner, this is everything you need to play guitar. I'm curious about this capo. Yeah, this capo is, that's all plastic with a metal spring in it. So that could break pretty easily, but hey, it gets you started. And for the price, you know, you can't beat it. So, okay. I know unboxings are kind of tedious and probably skip ahead through all this stuff, but I like to show how they're packaged because I've gotten some guitars that weren't packaged very well, and they've had damage. I've had guitars damaged that were packaged well. So I like to show that a little bit. I know it seems kind of gratuitous, but whatever. You can't please everybody, so. Okay, so here it is. Donner DST-80. This is made in China, of course. It's an open pore finish, so it's a matte finish, but you know, they didn't fill any of the pores. Ash is a real porous wood, so they didn't fill any of these pores in the grain. And so it's got that cool, that's what I kind of liked about it, was that it had that look to it. So then, let's see, stats on this. Let me go to Donner's website and see if this is even listed. Guitars, electric guitar, ST series. Okay, so this is interesting. This guitar is not even listed on their website. So this must be an eBay or online exclusive. So that's interesting. Okay, so DST-80, vintage tremolo, block saddles, chrome finish, pickups. Oh, and these are not Alnico, these are ceramic. Yeah, it says Manchurian ash. Made in Asia, features excellent fiber sensitivity and a softer sound profile compared to American ash. Right, prove it. Let's see, neck, maple, and I'm pretty sure this is a composite fretboard, if I'm not mistaken. This is a little 5-watt amp. This shipped from California. I ordered it, when did I order this? It came yesterday. So I ordered it on the 5th. So that was a week. So it took a week to get. So that's not bad. Okay, so let's just sort of figure this out on our own then. If there's not a lot of stats online, we'll do our own. Again, ash body, maple neck. It's a really nice looking neck. Enclosed tuners. These tuners look fairly okay. They're a little cheap. And then this might be it. I don't know. It's hard to say if the fretboard is actual wood or if it's engineered wood. Normally, Donner guitars are really good. I've reviewed a few of them. I've always been happy with the quality. The body is awesome. It's got your neck plate on the back with the laser etched logo in it. Okay, so this is no coil tap. Obviously, there's no humbuckers on it. Three single coils, 5-way switch, tone, volume, or volume, tone, tone, tremolo, which we will make sure this screws in. Yep, screws in. Tremolo works. Six screw tremolo. Okay, so let's check out the neck. Neck's pretty straight. Yeah, that's pretty close to 12. I'd call that 12. Seems like a lot of guitars are coming with flatter radiused fretboards nowadays. I'm sure this is a 25.5-inch scale length. Yes, it is. This is probably 1 5/8. Yes, it is. 3-ply pick guard. The pickup covers are black. That's interesting. So that's kind of cool. Fret ends are pretty darn good. There's a couple. These two are sticking out a little bit. Almost looks like the fretboard is rolled. These are cast saddles. Okay, so let's, and then it's a 21 frets. Came with strings on it, and those are probably 9s, if I had to venture a guess. All right, let's plug it in and give it a whirl. Okay, so let's try this little tuner they've got. There we go. Hey, here, go get it. So the tuner comes with a battery. You can plug it right in. Hi, is that your rubber band? You gonna go get it? My cat fetches. He'll bring it back, watch. See? He brought it back. He fetches. He's the only cat I've ever had that fetched. Go get it. So here's the tuner. Tuner's got a nice bright screen on it. Okay, so the couple notes on tuning this thing up. The tuners are a little cheap. They're pretty loose. And they seem, the tuning keys seem to be spaced really close together for some reason. It feels like my fat fingers can't really get in there very easily, but so it's tuned up. Let's see how the intonation sounds. So it's still not quite in tune. So the nut might be, yeah, the nut probably isn't cut quite right because the open strings are a little out of tune. So let's check the intonation on. Yeah, it's a little off already, you can tell. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's off. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here, intonate it. String height's pretty high. I'm gonna set the string height where I want it. Probably file down the nut slots. So I've pretty much had to do that on every guitar I've reviewed here recently. And then we'll see how it sounds. I'm sure it's going to sound pretty good. It's just a ceramic single coils. I mean, there's nothing too fancy about it. So we'll do that and we'll check it out. So the strings on this thing are absolutely terrible, but I don't have any strings to replace it with at the moment. I'm gonna have to order some, but I did manage to get it set up. I lowered, I filed out the nut slots a little bit, lowered the action. The action's kind of in a good spot where I like it. Kind of turned the truss rod adjustment a little bit just to kind of activate it because the screw was loose in there. It wasn't even tight one way or the other. So I tightened it up a little bit. Tuners are not great. They're really sloppy. The saddles, this bridge, I don't really care for that either. It's kind of not the best. The neck isn't bad, like I said. The fretwork on it's okay. I think there's a few high frets on here just based on fretting every string or every fret on each string. I mean, this is an entry-level guitar. I mean, that's really not an excuse. I mean, entry-level guitars should be set up good too because the people typically buying them aren't necessarily going to know what to do to get it intonated and set up. So a setup cost can be pretty expensive. But anyway, I've got it set kind of where I want it. Like I said, the strings aren't the greatest, so I'm hoping the sound examples aren't too terrible, but I think the pickups sound pretty decent in it. So this is just a clean sound. But the strings are real tinny sounding. They're those real thin, cheap strings, and they just don't sound good. But tone-wise, so that's the bridge and middle together. This is the middle. Oh, and the frets are pretty gritty, so this would be the middle and neck. And the neck. Oops, the tone knobs were about 6 o'clock. Doesn't seem to matter. Tone works. The volume works pretty good. Some of the volume you can't adjust it very finely because it'll jump from quiet to loud, but this one seems pretty good. It's probably going out of tune because... And then a note on the tuner that came with it, it's accurate, but it's not very, I don't know how to say it, like responsive. I mean, it like, I don't know, there's like a delay in it finding, it's having a lot of trouble finding the D or the low E. And then another thing, the strings are wrapped, the A is wrapped like once, it's barely hanging on for its life. The D is wrapped once. The G is wrapped twice. The B is wrapped a couple times. The E, the high E is wrapped maybe 3 times. The low E is wrapped a couple times. So that's not gonna lend to tuning stability. But in Donner's defense, they did send an extra set of strings, so, but I'm sure they're pretty bad too. So let's see if this is, I think this, yeah, this is a full thickness body, 1 3/4 body. So as a mod platform, I'd say this is pretty good. I would replace the bridge and the nut, I think, is plastic. I would put a synthetic tusk, you know, the tusk nut in there, and I'd probably replace these tuners. These tuners are really, really cheap. And then the strap buttons they're okay. They're just your typical strap buttons. They're not as sharp as the ones on the, I think it was the Gear It that I did that I said they were sharp. The jack is good and firm, and the pots seem to be good. Let's check out the trem. Wow. It's actually pretty decent. Of course, it's way out of tune now, I'm sure. But I mean, it sounds good. I mean, for what it is. Let's try to find something that's... So yeah, the frets should really be polished on this thing. They are really, really gritty. So yeah, not much more I can say about it. It's a decent guitar. It's a heavy ash body. I mean, this is definitely ash. Yeah, so anyway, there you go. $13. Actually, they're on sale. So this one, like I said, it's $119, originally $199. Keep an eye on this around Black Friday. It'll probably go down, so you can get it for less than $100. I don't think I'd pay more than $100 for this, but if you can get it, wait until it gets down to about $100. I think it's worth $100. I mean, $100 is pretty damn cheap for a guitar. Oh, one more thing. I completely forgot to talk about this little amp. Let's check this out. So Goes into the top, so it's actually got an on-off switch on it. And you have a single tone and a single volume, so. Yeah. It's pretty loud. Sounds like a telephone, an old telephone. It's so. I mean, the speaker's probably 4 inches. It's loud though. I mean, it's, you know. You turn it all the way up and you get distortion without the drive button being on, so. So to practice with, it's decent enough. Yeah, and it's like I said, it's got these things you can clip, you know, like a strap from a backpack or something onto it. You can sling it over your shoulder and walk around and play with the little amp there. So anyway, there you go, the amp that came with it. So again, if you're buying, especially, you know, the holidays are coming up, if you're buying for a beginner, then this is a decent setup. It's just, man, the cheap guitars are really starting to frustrate me because every single one has had to have quite a bit of setup done to it, you know. And that's unfortunate because, you know, if it were ready to play out of the box, that would be great. You know, the action on this was not too bad, but, you know, it just, the fact that it's not intonated, and when you go to play it, it sounds out of tune, and then it's got these really crappy strings on it. So if you're a beginner and you don't really know much, and, you know, you're tuning it up, you're going to be frustrated with, why isn't this thing in tune? It sounds out of tune. So yeah, I wish they would get their act together and do a minimal setup on them so that they sound good. Especially with those open chords. So anyway, there you go. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time here on Jay Sound Guitar. I got it for... You're standing on my keyboard, son. Come on, get out. You're not messing with that, are you?